Oh, hi. I'm author Robert Dugoni. I'm out here trying to think up plot for my next Tracy Crosswhite novel. Like a lot of you, my life has changed pretty dramatically over the last couple of months. You'll notice that I haven't cut my hair. I've decided to not shave since I'm not going anywhere, and I'm eating a lot of really not so good food. But, you know, for every dark cloud, there's a silver lining, and my family and I have found a few. Let me show you a couple of them. One of the things my family and I have done is we've set up our own outdoor drive-in in our backyard with our own movie screen here. We've watched the entire Harry Potter series. We've watched Brother, Where Art Thou?, Alien, Pirates of the Caribbean. It's been a lot of fun. The other thing my wife and I have done is we've converted our very infrequently used living room into a workout area, and we try to start every morning doing some type of a workout. As you can see, I'm getting incredibly strong lifting my 3-pound weights. The other thing that this time has allowed me to do is to answer questions from readers, and I have a couple here that I'll read to you and I'll try to answer. This is from David. He asks, what was the most significant piece of craft that you learned or discovered that flipped the light switch for you and got you your first book published? You know, I teach the craft of writing, and I would say that the biggest change in my life was reading Christopher Vogler's book, The Writer's Journey, which really taught me what a story is about. It taught me how to craft my plots and put in my plot points and understand really the way stories are told. The second question that I have here is from Jane. There's actually a couple questions. Would you ever consider a Tracy Crosswhite novel that comes over here to Eastern Washington? I would, and I have actually put Tracy on Mount Rainier at one point, but the biggest problem with that is jurisdiction. So I'd have to figure out a reason why Tracy was in Eastern Washington for longer than just a visit. Jane also asked, how do you stay focused when writing from home? What are you writing now, and what's some advice for aspiring authors? You know, I stay focused writing from home by going to work every morning. I keep a home office here, and I get up every day and I treat it the same as I've always treated it. I do my research and I go in and I write. As for what I'm writing now, I have just finished Tracy number 8 called In Her Tracks, and I'm going to read a little excerpt for you from my novel that's coming out September 2020 called The Last Agent. It's the second in the Charles Jenkins series. You know, and as for advice for aspiring writers, my advice would be to do your work, to learn the craft, learn how to tell a story, and put your butt in a chair and go to work every morning. I thought what I'd do is read a short excerpt for you from my book, The Last Agent, which is coming out September of 2020. It's the second book in the Charles Jenkins espionage series. This is from the first chapter. Charles Jenkins retrieved what supplies he needed from his metal shed and rolled out black felt paper, staking the corners, then covered the felt with cardboard, which smothered the weeds, but also released the sugar that would attract earthworms as it deteriorated. As Jenkins turned on the water spigot to soak the cardboard, Max barked, though not at the horses. Jenkins didn't have neighbors, at least not nearby, and his friends rarely stopped by unannounced. Alex had taken Lizzie to daycare and would work the morning teaching math in their son CJ's classroom. Jenkins raised a hand to deflect the glare of sunlight streaming through the trees, and he watched a young man turn the corner of the house and start across the yard toward him. In a dark suit and a long black coat, and with short blonde hair, he looked like a Mormon missionary. His gait indicated he was eager and determined to change the world for the better. Easy, girl. Sit, Jenkins whispered when Max growled. Let's be neighborly, unless given a reason not to be. Mormon missionaries traveled in pairs, and usually in neighborhoods where they could more widely spread their message. And while the Mormons were determined, This young man looked too cocksure, too composed to have come on religious business. He also looked too old. Jenkins guessed late 30s and hoped he wasn't carrying a subpoena or something more deadly. At present, all Jenkins had in hand was the gardening hose. Max dutifully sat at Jenkins' side. The young man stopped when he stepped onto the soggy lawn and looked down at his polished black shoes. His determined expression became hesitancy. He looked up. "Are you Charles Jenkins?" "What's this about?" Jenkins eyed the ground for a weapon. "I'm hoping to speak with Charles Jenkins." The young man's voice rose in question. "Is he home?" I asked, "What's this about?" Max emitted a low growl, drawing the man's brief attention. "Russia," he said, directing his gaze to Jenkins. "It's about Russia."